All right. I've been waiting for a nice set of features to be ready to show you guys the next thing, and we are really close now. There's been a ton of changes since you've last seen it. Some of them having to do with layout, a lot of them having to do with operation. So let's just talk about layout. It's still kind of ugly, but things have been repositioned and regrouped in ways that I think make a little more sense. But it still might change before we ship it. And as well, remember, this is functional, not pretty. Eventually we'll put a new UI on it and it'll be all pretty. What is true now is that the zone section is fully functional. All these fields are working. Along the sides here, you'll see that we've got zones that you can't select because there's nothing in there. The second zone is available to select, even though there's not one in it. That is how we add a new sample by putting it in there. And along the side here, we're seeing the voltage, minimum voltage that you'll see when you do the assignment of voltage on the unit itself. So as we add those, they'll get filled in, and if we wanted to, we can update them to change them, right? Some of these controls used to be a button that went on and off. Like this was a button that said, I think, external, and you could turn it on and off, but now it is a nice little combo box, so you can actually see what it is. Similar to like this, the attack from 0 or from current, mix mod, normal or fader, so on and so forth. Also moved some of the zone-related channel configuration stuff up over here above the channels. That seems to make sense. The only guy who kind of feels like out of place right now is the crossfade group assignment. This guy, of course, relates to these assignments here at the preset level. So yeah, I might try to figure out how to get those visually associated, but not a big deal. I think that'll work just fine. Also, another change is how you load samples. Previously, you could type into this field. That is not possible anymore. What you can do, though, there's 3 different ways to assign a sample. We can use let's do the, first of all, you can use the file browser over here. You can now see, I think I changed how this works too. Going up a directory used to be a button up here you'd click, and that would take you up one folder. I've moved that down in here, so you can see that takes us up, and then we can go back down in there with a single click. These are now in green, your WAV files, and you can double click one of those to load it into the current zone. So currently we have 74 loaded there. We can double click here and load 67. So yeah, so now we can go ahead and look at adding more samples. So we'll do a second one here from over here. 74, now you can see you get the display here. Now we'll go ahead and use the file browser. And we'll do that by just clicking on here, and that'll open up a file browser for us. And we can go in. I'm going to choose one from this folder because there's 2 ways to, when you use this one or drag and drop, you can assign a sample that isn't in the current preset folder, and what will happen is it will be copied, which is the same thing that happens on the unit. If you choose to use a sample that's not in your preset folder, it gets copied to your preset folder. In this case, I just want to show a regular one without copying it, so we'll just choose that 67, and it's chosen it there. Currently, this does not update when a file is copied in. That's on my to-do list. I will now select one that's not in here, but I do have the folder open here. This is the folder. So I'm going to select one of these samples from down here, and we'll see it appear in here after it's copied. So again, we'll open up our load screen from here, go to desktop, user, where is my user folder? I should have prepared better for this. User card, there it is. And those are in the Havoc 808 samples. So we'll go Havoc drums over here, and we'll just go ahead and select this bongo. Boom, it's selected there. You can see it appeared up here because it was copied. Once I get the feature implemented, we'll see it appear over here as well. And last but not least, we can do a drag and drop. And drag and drop will again copy the file if needed. So let's go ahead and grab this claps from here. We'll drag it and drop that onto file. You'll see it appear here after it's copied as well. Boom, and boom, there it is, claps. So that was copied. Yeah, so if you want to remove a zone, you simply select the zone you want to remove, and you can use the delete key here, plump, and that gets rid of it. Now we've just got our 67, our bongo, and our claps. Gosh, everybody is constrained to the right values. That might have been, oh, tooltips. We didn't have tooltips before, so they're not filled in fully, but now we've got tooltips over all of your controls. We'll be getting those filled out a little bit better and make more sense. We get tooltips here, but currently I'm not putting anything in them, but I figured maybe I can do a quick list of the samples that are being used or something like that, or the number of channels. Anyway, some kind of interesting stuff there. Same over here, we got a little tooltip pop-up and nothing in it, but I figured I could put like the, attributes of the wave file in here. So mono, stereo, the length, sample rate, and that kind of stuff. So that'll be cool. And I haven't looked at it much. Obviously the validator is still down here. One of the things I'm going to do with the validator, since I kind of have it hidden away when you start up, is put on this bar here, we'll list if there's errors as well, how many errors and how many warnings. Maybe that's what we'll do, we'll list both of those things. Maybe just errors, those are the most important. That way when you look here, you'll see if anything actually appears and whether you need to actually look down there. I think that's it. There's been a lot of under the hood stuff obviously getting this going, but my current to-do list is rather short. Let me pull it over. I kind of take my whole to-do list and I break it up into some chunks and stuff. But here we've got, currently again, if we make any changes to our preset like we just did here and we switch away, we lost all of our changes. So these last two tasks on the list right here are all about making sure you're queried to save before you would lose any edits. That can happen both from the loading of a sample or something else. I don't know. Sorry, I got distracted. And then the last is that some of these parameters here have some very special formatting rules. The one I always remember, of course, is loop length. Currently, I just have it a little bit set up. But if we put 2048 in, there's not a sample in there, so I can't do that. Let's do that. So if we put 2048 in, we'll see that it's 2048. But the minute you get under 2048, you get 3 decimal places, and you can set that by halves for a little bit, and then when you get down to a certain level, it goes to quarters, and then down below that, it goes to a little smaller. So those kind of rules have to be put in. Those are the big things. Those are the 3 things left on my list, but there are still other things that need to get done for this to be ready to go. But we are very close. I'm super excited. Big shout out to Sean for all the help he's given me on a bunch of technical tracking of details and what like that. And big shout out to, I don't remember your name, somebody's helping me out with some icons. They're beautiful. Can't wait to start getting some ones to use from him. Thanks a lot. And shout out to all of you who have contributed financially to the project. It helps motivate me, even though I'm enjoying this a lot. That's it. We're getting there. We're close. And I'm super excited. We'll be getting a Mac and a Windows version out at the same time. I build all the time on the Mac, so I know it's up and running perfectly over there as well. Test it over there along with this. Somebody mentioned actually you can easily read SD cards into an iPad or iPhone maybe these days with an adapter. So I'll think about doing one of those. I'm sure it'll build there, but we need a new user interface for mobile, so that'll be a secondary project. And I don't know if Android as well can read SD cards easily, but we could do it on that if we wanted as well. And if anybody's interested on Linux, I can always spin up a Linux version as well. That's it. Yay.